No. All right, so we're starting with you all have your packets, hopefully, of the several different sheets that we're going to be going through quickly tonight. And so what I want to do is flip my screen over, and I'm going to share my screen. And when you want to dive in with a question or a thought when I ask for some participation, feel free to do that. Because there are going to be times when you will have questions, and I want to make sure that I give you the answers that you need. Okay. And can somebody unmute and tell me that you can see the words Future Leader Training Program?
Yep.
Great. Thank you. All right. Awesome. So throughout the program, we are going to cover some of the points that I've talked with a lot of you about. The benefits of leadership, managing your personal business for faster results, mastering host coaching, mastering the booking side of things, mastering sponsoring, and then finally partnering with your leader to make sure that your new consultants are as successful as they can be, because starting new consultants strong is a whole other process. So what we're going to do, let me show you, see if I can flip easily. Here we go. All right, so at the end tonight, I'm going to be showing you the activity tracker. You actually have that. And I'm going to be encouraging you to do a weekly check-in with your own leader. We won't be doing a Future Leader Facebook group this time. That is something that we've done in the past, but we'll be staying in touch through your leaders, and then every week. We're just doing this for 4 weeks. And I'm hopeful that you'll be able to join us, because I am going to record each of these 4 segments. And even if you can't join us on a Sunday night for 30 minutes or 35 minutes, hopefully you'll be able to watch the one that you missed so that you can get caught up and take the action items for that particular week. I also hope that you'll be able to come to the call ready to take good notes, ready to be able to think clearly. I know that that's kind of hard. You know, our home settings are crazy. And again, that you can participate in all this in every session. Most importantly, though, I hope that you can follow the plan closely, because it's like a recipe. You really do need each ingredient, and you do want to follow each step to have a tasty dish, right? With the recipe, it's the same thing with this. And I hope that you will choose to do your homework, watching all the videos that I'm going to share with you, and take the extra challenges and the actions after each session. And finally, to use the activity tracker. All right, so what I want to do now is have you go to your first page, which has a heart on it, and it says My Why and the benefits of leadership. And this is where, when you have a comment, I'd like for you to unmute so that you can answer some questions. Could some of you, or just very briefly, what are some of the reasons why you would be interested in earning 40% and promoting to leader? What are the benefits for you? What would you get out of being a leader? What would your why be? Some people go ahead and just share.
More money.
Great. Okay.
Freedom.
Love it.
I'm striving for financial freedom, and the only way to do that is to keep growing my business.
That's great. I love that. Okay, what else?
I want to have more women in my group, not just as a business, but as friendship. I want to, it's hard in this area because it's so tourism. So
Okay.
I'm looking to have more people that I can just pick up the phone and say, hey, let's just go to lunch or something like, like more friendship.
I love that. That's great. And that's a residual just from doing parties and things. Yeah, I love that. What else? Anything else? Okay. Well, at the heart of all these different benefits is one or two that are going to be specific for you, and that is your why. And it's really the reason. It may be the reason that you started this business. It may be the reason that you're ready to put the pedal to the metal. And for example, if your why is more money, ask yourself, why is the money important? What will it do for me? What will it allow me to afford? Why do I want the extra income? What goal or dream could it fulfill for me? How could it change my life? In other words, be specific. So what I want you to do is visualize yourself reaching this goal, fulfilling your why, and I want you to write down under that heart what you feel like your why is. Is it to help others? Is it to make money? I love the idea of extra new friends. What is your particular number one why? Write that down under the pink heart on your sheet of paper. And I'll give you a moment to do that. Okay. And as you're doing that, what I want you to do also is imagine yourself 6 months or maybe a year from now, and you are a successful leader, and you just sponsored 3 other future leaders on your team. Imagine how great it's going to feel to help all of them achieve their whys just as you're achieving yours. Because remember, they all come in with a why as well. And as a leader, it's not just about you achieving your why. It's really about you helping others achieve theirs. Zig Ziglar said, you can have everything you want in life if you will just help enough other people get what they want. That is my all-time favorite quote. And so given that most people start a business because they need or want extra income, and many of you join this program to make more money, let's jump into how you give yourself a pay increase. So what I want you to do, okay, let me ask you a couple questions. How many of you feel 100% confident that you know exactly how to make more money with our career plan? Yes or no? You feel 100% confident that you know how to make more money with the career plan? Yes or no?
No.
Okay. Anybody else? Yes or no? No?
No.
Okay. Okay. Another question. How many of you feel really confident in explaining our career plan, our compensation plan to other people?
No.
Okay.
Not 100%.
Not 100%. Okay. And how many of you know how to calculate your earnings? Anybody? Some of you?
Probably not.
Okay. All right. Well, guess what? We're going to
I
learn.
know it shows up in my checking account. That's all
Right.
I know.
I know, right? And that's a beautiful thing. Like, oh, I don't care where it came from as long as it came from somewhere. Okay. So that's what we're going to talk about next. I'm going to take you step by step through our career plan, not only so you can understand the amazing potential, but so that you can explain it to someone else. All right, so what I'm going to do is show you these slides. I think I'm on the right pages. All right, so let me see what you've got here. I'm looking through all my participant worksheets as well as the script that they gave me to make sure that I'm giving you the right things. Okay. So what I'm going to do is walk through these first 4 things, and then we're going to actually do the participant worksheet number 2. You'll see it as the second sheet that you have printed out. So the 4 ways to increase your income. The first one is a personal sales bonus. So did you all know that, of course, we all make 25%, but that you can make 30% on your sales? And that's in any month, any calendar month, when you sell $1,800 or more, retail sales, you'll get a 5% personal sales bonus. So you just gave yourself a raise by selling over $1,800, and that is actually on the entire amount that you sold that month, not just on the amount over the $1,800. Okay, so you can get a 30% commission instead of 25%. That's the first way to increase your income. The second way to increase your income is with a personal sponsoring bonus. And that is by bringing a friend into the business with you. And there are some qualifications. This is where I want you to pay attention, because this is where people get really confused. Now, remember, we're not talking about the GLAM plan right now. So remember, the GLAM plan is a new consultant incentive program, and that's all about jewelry. It's about getting free jewelry. Tonight, we're talking about our compensation plan. This is money. So when we talk about Glambassador, remember, that's all about the GLAM plan. There's nothing about Glambassador in our compensation plan. So you're not going to hear me talking about that tonight. So Key Consultant 1, it means that you have one personally sponsored, active, qualified consultant. So personally sponsored means you sponsored her, she's yours. Second is active, and that means that she has sold $1 in sales within 3 months. Not hard to do, right? And we actually do not have anything that's $1. And then Q is qualified, and this is the thing that most people get confused about. Qualified means that at some point in her history with Touchstone Crystal, she sold $500 in sales within 1 month. It can be the first month, we hope it is. It can be the 5th month. It can be the 17th month. So PSAQ is a consultant, not a leader. So as you start to promote leaders, those leaders themselves do not count as your PSAQ any longer, or in that particular month that she's paid as a leader. So PSAQ is a consultant. So when you bring on one consultant, you become a Key Consultant 1. You can earn 25 or 30% commission. We talked about that, but now you're getting a 3% personal sponsoring bonus on your PSAQ. The third way to increase your income is to have 2 PSAQs. So again, here we go, 2 personally sponsored, active, qualified consultants. By the way, your requirement is that you sell $500 minimum in that particular month in order to qualify for the 3% sponsoring bonus. Now, obviously, you'd be making your 25% no matter what, but to qualify for the 3% bonus, your minimum sales requirement for that month is $500, so less than one party. Same thing with the 2, $500 personal sponsoring minimum, personal sales volume minimum. And in doing so, now you'll have a 4% personal sponsoring bonus. So let's pretend that between the 2 of them, they sold $2,000. You will earn 4% on $2,000, which is another $80. So from Key Consultant 2 to 3, you're almost at group leader, because 3 PSAQs is what gets you to leadership income. And this is the 4th way to increase your income. So now let's look at this. So now here's you, and here are 3 PSAQs. So group leader has 4 qualifications. The first is that you have 3 personally sponsored, active and qualified consultants. The second is that you yourself have $1,200 in sales in that particular month. And the third is that you and they combined, and anybody else on their teams, has $3,500 in their central group sales. So central group is you and everybody in your group. The 4th component is that 1,000 of that 3,500 comes from the team. So you, happy face here, cannot be selling all $3,500 and they sell nothing. They have to provide at least 1,000 of that $3,500. Okay, over here on the right, you see the income. Well, the cool thing is that the leadership income when you have 3 PSAQs and you're paid as a group leader is actually 35%. But the company also gives you something called a central group bonus that applies to your income as well as your income on your team. And this is how we arrive at a 40% payout on your personal sales volume. We're going to see how this plays out in just a moment. And then secondarily, now on those PSAQs, you were earning 9% on your team. You had that original 4% with the first 2. That 4% stays intact, but now that central group bonus, remember everybody is part of your central group. So you get a 5% bonus on your sales and a 5% bonus on their sales for a total of 9%. Here's the really interesting thing. Let's pretend this one here, I'm circling her face. Let's pretend she brought somebody in as well, and you are now a group leader. You will earn that central group bonus on her sales now too. And let's pretend there's another one down underneath her. You'll earn 5% on her sales as well, all the way to infinity. You can earn 5% on anybody that your PSAQs bring onto the team. Okay, so that's your central group bonus. It applies to your entire central group. So that is leadership income. I'd like you to pull out participant worksheet number 2, and we're going to run through these numbers here. I'm going to talk through them, and at the same time, I want you to fill in the blanks because you have the blank ones, and I have the key sitting here for you to look at. So we're simply reviewing how all of this works. Base commission is 25%, right? Right up here as I'm circling base commission, 25%. Qualifications for your first type of pay increase is $1,800 in personal sales per month. And that allows you a 5% personal sales bonus for a total of 30% commission. So that's our first one, remember? Second one is Key Consultant 1. And when we have one personally sponsored active qualified consultant and a $500 personal sales volume minimum, you can earn 25 to 30% commission and a 3% personal sponsoring bonus on your PSAQ, on your one person. Key Consultant 2 is 2 PSAQs. If I'm going too fast, just holler, okay? And again, a $500 personal sales volume minimum. And again, you can still earn 25 or 30% commission depending on your personal sales. But instead of 3%, now you're earning 4% on both of your PSAQs. So that's Key Consultant 2. Now, we go all the way to Group Leader. 3 PSAQs, $1,200 sales volume minimum for you, which is a party and a half for most of us. $3,500 central group sales, and including $1,000 from the team, everybody besides you, basically. And here's what's cool. Again, that gives you a 35% leader commission and a 5% group bonus, central group bonus, for a total of 40% on your personal sales. Then on your team, 4% personal sponsoring bonus, 5% central group bonus that you get on everybody, for a total of 9% on your PSAQs. Okay, are you all with me? Any questions on that? It's okay if you do, because we can stop right here. Make sure you've got it.
Just slow down 1 second.
So what is the total, if you added all the percentage together, what would it be? It wouldn't be 49.
Correct, because the 40% is on your sales, the 9% is on their sales.
Got it.
Exactly. Great question. Great question. Love it.
But Betsy, this is if like I have 3 people, but Wendy made leader before me.
Mm-hmm.
So Wendy is not even in this scenario.
Exactly. Right.
So I'm working on Ann and the other girl, and then I need a third person.
Exactly. Right. Unless there was some bizarre month when Wendy wasn't paid as a leader, in which case she, in that particular month, would then become your PSAQ again.
Okay.
Because people can go back and forth. Now, I don't think that will happen to Wendy,
right,
but that can happen with people, where a group leader will sometimes slip backwards to a Key Consultant 2, which means her sales roll back up under her leader for that month alone. This is what's really cool. Everything is based on an individual month. Every month is its own month. It's
right.
great.
Okay.
Yeah. Great question.
Thank you.
Sure. What other questions about this? There are no bad questions about this, because this is pretty formative. If we can get this, we will really have done something. Okay. Do you want to see how it plays out? You want to see the money? All right. So what does a leader make? Well, let's look at the difference for a moment. You can look at worksheet number 4. Let's look at the difference for a moment between a consultant, you as a consultant, and you as a leader. So you as a consultant, let's say you sell $1,000 as a consultant. Awesome. Love it. And you earn 25%. You just made $250. That's fantastic. A leader goes out the door and does that same $1,000 party, but instead of 25%, she's earning 40%, and is coming home with $400 in income that night instead of $250. So she has just earned $150 more on that same $1,000 party. So on participant worksheet number 4, at the top it says, what does a leader make? You can fill in those top blanks. So 1,000 in sales times 25% is $250 profit. And under the leader portion, 1,000 in sales times 40% is $400 in profit. All right, let's take a look at the next part. This is all about your team members and their sales and how much you earn on what they're selling. So let's pretend you have one team member. Yay, congratulations. And that one team member is selling $1,800. This is not you, this is them. She is selling $1,800 and you are earning 3% on what she has just sold. You earned $54 on what she sold. She, however, of course, earned 30% because she's a consultant with $1,800 in sales, which is fantastic. You're earning 3% on her as well. Now, switch that to a leader. Let's pretend that you're a leader and your PSAQ sold, one of your PSAQs sold $1,800. That same person sold $1,800, but you're a leader, not a key consultant 1, because you have 3 people, not just 1. You're not earning 3%, you're earning 9% on that one person's sales. Now you're earning $162 on that same amount of sales that she's doing. You would have earned $54 if you'd only had one PSAQ. Does that make sense?
Betsy,
Yes.
do they have to reach the 1,800 for you to get paid on that, or it doesn't
No.
matter?
No. It's just a number.
Okay.
We
Okay.
could use the $2,000 number. You know, ideally, we want all of our team members to be selling at least $1,800 because remember, that's where they get that first bonus
Correct.
of the extra 5%. And I think that's why the company uses that number in here. But it's not because that's our some threshold for us. Even if they sell $5, we will earn 3% or 4% or 9%. Okay?
Thank you.
Sure. Great question. I'm glad you asked that. Any other questions? What other questions about that?
So the key consultants don't have to sell a minimum of 500 every month in order for you to be paid as a leader?
So a key consultant is a person who has one team member. And
Okay.
in order for me as a key consultant 1 to get paid on my one team member, I'll need to sell $500 in that particular month.
Okay.
In order to qualify for a 3% bonus on whatever it happens to be, $1,800 or $1,000 or $200 or whatever she ends up selling. In this example, my team member, my one team member happened to sell $1,800 in that month. And if I myself sold at least 500, I would earn 3% on her. It basically allows me to earn bonuses on my team.
Okay.
As long as I'm selling $500 when I have one person or 2 people.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. What other questions? Great question. Because I'm going to show you more. I'm going to show you more money here. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. Sample monthly income. So this is where you're going to fill in the blanks. So this is you here on the left-hand side. This is what you're selling in a particular month. So let's pretend you go out the door as a leader with 3 people on your team, and you do 4 parties, and they average $750 in sales. And so you have $3,000 in sales that month. That's great, right? Now, if you did that as a consultant, $3,000 in sales as a consultant would be 30%. So you would earn $900, right? And that's not on here, but that's what you would earn because you would be over $1,800 in that month. And you'd be earning 30% on all of your sales. So you'd be earning $900, which is fantastic. But as a leader, $3,000 times 40% gives you a $1,200 income on your own personal sales volume, okay? So that's pretty simple. So that's sort of like a classic month. Now let's talk about your team. Let's go back to that example of each of your, let's pretend you have 3 team members, and all 3 of them, daggone it, they each sold $1,800. Because we know that happens all the time, right? All 3 of them sold exactly $1,800. So the 3 of them combined have $5,400 in sales. Now, because you're a leader, you will be earning 9% on all of their sales in that month for a total of $486 from what they have sold. And so that means that you have now earned $1,200 plus $486. That's almost $1,700 that month. Interestingly enough, remember I said that if I was a consultant selling $3,000, I would have earned $900. So the difference is that instead of $900, I could earn $1,700 in this example, for example. Okay, so this is a personal income statement, this next one here. Okay, so are there any questions about that? Let me go back to that. So what questions do we have about that? What questions do we have about that? Anything there?
So the you in that photo or in that frame is someone that has 3 people under them.
Correct. That would be you as a leader. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay.
Right. In this example, what would happen? Right. So if you had 3 people, this is what it would look like. Okay. Good question. What else? Are you all stumped, or are you gaining on it? I hear calculators.
I think we're still all computing. This is
okay, good. You're still running through the math in your head.
Exactly.
So so here's what's interesting. The part about your team, it could be 3 PSAQs with $1,000 in sales each. You know, it doesn't really matter what the number is here. You can play with all kinds of numbers. And in fact, the next sheet that you have, which is worksheet 5, allows you to play with some things. And it's basically allowing you to come up with, it doesn't have to be this month's, but it could be. But maybe you make up a month. You pretend and you say, oh, I've got 5 hosts, and Larry, Curly, Mo, Dopey, and Sleepy. And here are the pretend sales from each one of those 5 parties, and you fill those in and you write down your total sales. And then you do the math on how much you would have made with these 5 fictitious Disney and character parties. And then you come up with, 3 PSAQ names. And maybe it's Belle, Sleeping Beauty, and Cinderella, and these are the ladies who have joined your team, and here's how much money they have each sold here's how much in sales they've sold this month for a total sales. And you've earned 9% on their total sales. And it's just basically an expanded version of page 4, the sample monthly income. But this sort of explodes it a little bit and allows you to create your own example so that you can understand how this works. Because what you're doing is you're taking pretend hosts or your exact hosts, maybe. Like Randy, for example, I know what your team numbers look like. Randy, you could actually use host names because you have a lot of parties. You could actually use real PSAQs and show what the numbers would actually look like to your team members. And so, but for those of us who don't have team members, make it up and create a pretend scenario of, these hosts and PSAQs, and so that you can get used to playing with the numbers. Here's what happens though. As time goes on, you will be running these numbers in your sleep. and it'll become so automatic to you. You'll know exactly how to run these numbers because you'll be doing it so often. In fact, you'll run it throughout the month, toward the end of every month, to figure out what your income is looking like, and to figure out what everybody's, to help your team members figure out what their incomes are looking like as they grow, their team members. Okay. So now I want to show you, wait, I'm gonna get
I
lost.
think the part that gets the most confusing to me is with that central group
Yeah.
bonus part, because
I
that's
know.
kind of another criteria added into it to get paid.
Well, it kind of is, and it kind of isn't. That you mean the bonus part, the 5% bonus part?
Yes.
So it's not actually a criteria, it's actually a benefit. And so that's why in both, see, they have to show how they arrive at that sort of legally. But in reality, all that matters is the 40% and the 9%. Okay.
But if your team doesn't earn the 3,500 and you
Right.
don't earn the 1,200, then you don't qualify for that additional 5%, correct?
That's exactly right. And you would qualify as a key consultant too in that month if you have $500 in sales for yourself.
Okay.
You would just bump back down for that month, back down to key consultant 2, and you would earn 4% on them
Okay.
as a key consultant 2. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then the next month, if everybody's, jiving and rolling and you're adding more people, then, you bump right back up again. Okay. Does that help at all?
Yes.
Okay. What other questions? Okay. I want to show you the next thing, and this is interesting. Fun fact, your central group could be this big. So we were talking about this central group bonus. Here's what central group, the bare bones, looks like. It's you, happy you, and 3 PSAQs, but it could look like this. Here's you, and these green ones are all the people that you've sponsored over time. And these other people are the other ones that they've all sponsored. And the cool thing is that if they're in your central group, you're earning 5% on all of these other people, every last one of them. And still 9% on all of your PSAQs, no matter what, okay? So your central group isn't limited to just your first 3. It's as big as you can make it. And here's the really cool thing. Usually when you get it looking like this, you've started to spin off group leaders themselves. So, maybe this gal here has 3 people, and she's spinning off as her own group leader. The beautiful thing about that is that you do not take a pay decrease. Your pay stays the same. As long as you are a group leader with enough other people and enough sales, when she goes off and you've helped her to become a group leader and earn that extra income, your income on them does not go down. It stays the same, which is a great thing. At the company I was in before this, it actually went down. If I promoted out a leader, my income went way down. And in this company, it doesn't do that, which is great. Our career plan is straightforward. Okay, so there are 9 levels within our career plan. We talked about the first 4: consultant, key consultant 1, key consultant 2, and now group leader. But without getting into too much detail, I want to show you what the potential is beyond group leader. So there are 6 levels of leadership. Group leader, which we've talked about, senior group leader, director, key director, senior executive director. And I want to show you the incomes based on 2017. We haven't finished 2018, but we'll show you the 2017 incomes. This is the big picture potential here. So average income, these are averages. They're not showing us here what the top numbers are, but these are averages. Average group leader in the company in 2017 earned $18,000. And we know what those requirements are, right? The average senior group leader earned $18,000. The average senior group leader earned $27,000, which meant that she promoted out 1 group leader herself. A director, our average director, earned $47,000 in 2017. That's someone who promotes out 2 group leaders. A key director is someone who promotes out 4 group leaders. And the average key director earned $72,000 in 2017. Senior director is promoting out 6 group leaders. The average income for senior director was $103,000. And then senior executive director is basically lather, rinse, repeat. It's 8 group leaders, $100,000 in monthly organizational sales, and her average income for the company was $220. The average income for senior executive directors was $229,000 in 2017. How does that sound? Anybody like that?
Definitely.
I think we could live with that.
You could live. Okay, so does leadership sound good to you? Anybody? All right. So getting to leader in 30 to 60 days. We're going to go through this part really fast. Here are some statistics that keep playing out. 1 party per week usually means 1 sponsor per month, which probably means you can promote to group leader in 3 to 4 months. If you do 2 parties a week, you will easily sponsor 2 a month, and you'll promote to group leader within 2 months. That really is, it's kind of funny, but that really is how it plays out. And here's why. It's because when we do parties, we meet people. And when we meet people, there's sorry. That's okay. Aw. When we are doing parties, we're meeting people and they become very engaged in what we have to offer. And so there's a very interesting philosophy that the company came up with a couple of years ago. What we're finding is that this is very true. When we do 8 parties per month, which is 2 nights a week, basically, we're going, and you can just play with these numbers and see what you think. It basically means that we'll probably have about 60 new contacts. So there's 7 to 8 people per party. You'll probably wind up with at least 2 new ambassadors. You'll probably earn at least $2,000 a month. And you'll earn about $10,000 within 5 months. And of course, you'll hit group leader within 30 to 60 days. So they call that Strive for 5. I'm going to leave that up here because this is a participant worksheet number 6. In fact, let me back up so you can do participant worksheet number 6, the top part. So number of parties per week, number sponsored per month, promoting the group leader in how many months, and how many work hours per week. Doing actual parties out of the house. You know, for a lot of women, the hard part is getting out of the house. When we have children and things, that's the tricky part, is being gone in the evenings and things. And so that's why I want to accentuate the fact that, you know, it might only be 6 to 8 hours a week that you're actually away from home in the evenings to accomplish these kinds of goals. You know, a lot of women go get a job at Kohl's over Christmas and they work 3 nights a week, 4 nights a week, stocking shelves and things, which is great. But you can make a lot more money with a lot fewer hours doing something like this. Okay, and then the Strive for 5 is 8 parties a month, 60 contacts, 2 nuclear ambassadors, $2,000 in income per month, and that's actually low, and $10,000 over a 5-month period, and that gets you to leader in 30 to 60 days. So I have a question. What would you do with an extra $10,000 in the next 5 months? Because that's actually what you would earn by working for the Hawaii trip. Did you know that? Everything that we've just talked about will get you to Hawaii. What would you do with an extra $10,000 in the next 5 months? Some people tell us. Ideas?
Make a dent in my home equity loan that I took out to remodel my kitchen.
Ooh, I love that. And I want to see your kitchen.
College rent
Yeah, no kidding.
×2.
Yeah. Who else?
Pay off a big chunk of my car I bought earlier this year.
Oh, that would be great.
Yes.
I love that. I love that. Okay. Anything else? Anybody have something unusual? You can share it with us. Anything else? Okay. All right. I would like for you to go back. I want you to go back to Oh, and of course they have to tell us things like, there are only two options, make progress or make excuses. Which one do you really want to make, ladies? Come on. I already know the answer about all of you. So the way to grow is a healthy, strong, personal business. Of course, we know that, right? And we'll be talking over time about the host coaching, about the bookings and the sponsoring. I'd like for you to take a look at the activity tracker, which was a part of your first week's packet. It's the very last page that you have. And for those of you who are sort of number crunchers, rule followers, you love tracking things, keeping up with stuff, you love your calendars and your to-do lists, you're going to love this activity tracker. For those of you who are more seat of your pants, you're going to hate this activity tracker, or you'll love it because it'll become your savior. But it's kind of cool because it basically assigns points to actions. And it allows you just to keep up with what are the key components to doing this business in a way that minimizes your time and maximizes your productivity. And that's what the activity tracker is actually for. We're not going to hold any of you to this, but here's what I want you to do. If your goal is leader in the next 60 days, I want you to make a couple copies of this, because each week you'll be filling this out and take a snapshot of it to send to your leader, because your leader will be able to use it as a diagnosis with you. This is not a report card at all by any stretch of the imagination. This is simply an opportunity for you and your leader to go, oh yeah, gosh, look at how well the host coaching went, and look how well you did on customer service calls. Where do you feel like you want to improve next week? What do you really want to focus on next week? How can we make the most of this other thing that happened? And it becomes an opportunity to have something that you can both talk about on a weekly basis that is specific, rather than, hey, how's it going? How are you feeling about things? That kind of thing, okay? That's what your activity tracker is for. We also give you, we're not going to do this because it's running late, and it is late, and so you can't really call or text people at this point. Sometimes you can private message them on Facebook, but what we're going to want you to do is work on getting 2 more bookings on your calendar in the next 24 hours. I posted some verbiage yesterday, and in fact, I'm going to pin it to the top of the Star Thrower team page. And it's the Hey Beyonce kind of thing. You can use this verbiage that's in the sample scripts on participant worksheet number 7 if you like that better, or you can use lots of combinations of this combined with what I posted about the Hey Beyonce, as well as what the company offers in the new consultant training on Glam Central. There's a lot of verbiage in there as well, but this gives you something to go on. And you know, if your goal is group leader, remember that the best thing that we can do is a party, plain and simple. And so we want you to book 2 new parties in the next 24 to 48 hours. Nobody's checking up on you. This is all about you holding yourself to your own goals. Also, there are some party presentation videos on Glam Central. Have you looked at them in a while? They're really great. And Shanna Campbell has one of the best ones, and she's on our team. She's from our team. She's such a rock star. But if you go to Glam Central and you go to you go to Glam Central, to resources, to training, to parties, and you'll be able to watch some of the party presentation videos, because this will give you confidence to know what to do when you get to the party. The other thing that you can do, another tool that I gave you, is the participant worksheet number 8. It's a party presentation training. While you're watching some of these party presentation videos, you can actually fill in the blanks on these. This one refers to Lori Kelly. So if Lori Kelly's video is still up there, that's great, use hers. But if not, you can use Shanna's and answer the questions in a very similar way as well. So that's the party presentation worksheet. And I really do think that if you talk through these kinds of things with your upline leader and you're diligent about that, you're going to uncover some things in your own personal habits and actions that you're going to see will really move you forward a whole lot faster. This does not have to be a full-time job. In fact, this is barely even a part-time job, but it does take focus. And so what I want you to do is to go back to your very first page, participant worksheet number 1, and you wrote down your why, but now I want you to write down your goal. I want you to say, my goal is, maybe it's for this next week, maybe it's for this next month, maybe it's for between now and Christmas, maybe it's for between now and the end of March, which is our Hawaii trip. What is your goal? Maybe you have several goals. Write them down right now. I'm going to take 30 seconds of silence to give you a moment to write those down.
What is our goal for when, Betsy?
You get to choose the parameters. It could be this week, it could be this month, until Christmas, until the end of March, which is the Hawaii trip. You choose. They're your goals. Okay, who would like to share their goal real quickly? Lori, the activity tracker, it should be a part of that packet.
No, but I can't find it. So maybe I'm missing it.
I don't know where it
The
is.
last page.
Last page. Thank
The,
you.
the session 1 action
The very
step.
first page. It's this
Or it's
page,
on the first page.
very first page.
No, the actual activity, do you guys have the activity tracker?
No.
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 Weird. It's in the packet. Okay. I will post it. I'll post it in the event, on the
I mean,
event.
we only had like 8 pages that printed.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My goal is to qualify for the Vegas trip training in January and also for Hawaii. So
Great. Love
I'm
it.
working it.
That's great, Sherry. Thank you. Terrific. I believe you. Who else?
I need 1 Glambassador by the end of the month.
Okay.
And I need to reach my 8,000 mark for Vegas.
Excellent. Love it.
That's
Who else?
immediate.
Lee. You have to unmute. Somehow I can't hear you, darling. Oh, I want to hear you so badly. Do you know sign language? Okay, hold it up. Can anybody read it? Hold on. Let's put her on spotlight. Okay. 2 options. Make progress or make excuses. 30 days, 3 parties, 3 months, group leader, and Hawaii. Okay, we got it. Yay! When all else fails, right? That was awesome. Who else?
I need to hire 1 more person and make group leader.
I'm curious what where does the word hire come from? I'm just curious where that comes from.
I always call it hire, to hire 1 person. I call it hiring because I'm looking for a person to join us. So I just use the word hire. That's my own personal.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how you say it. So sign up, or I call it hire.
Sponsor. Right. Yeah. Who else? Thanks. That's great, Rhonda. We'll see if we can help you do that, right?
Yeah, I'm trying.
Oh, I know you are. Who else? Anybody else want to share? Okay. All right, ladies. Well, I want to congratulate you for getting outside of your comfort zone. I hope you learned a couple of new things, especially about our career plan. Because, you know, just like when you're playing darts, if you don't know where the dartboard is, you could be throwing darts all day long and never hit a bullseye. And hopefully now that you know what's possible, it gives you something more specific to shoot for. And by setting out your goals, that gives you an even tighter bullseye to work on for right now. I will make sure that that activity tracker gets posted on the event page so that you all have it. It's going to be easier than trying to email it to everybody, because I think a lot of you are going to love this tool. And if you don't love it, throw it away. It's okay. It just means it's not for you. I hope you're able to get 2 more parties on the calendar. That is my goal as well, in the next 24 to 48 hours. When you get another party, feel free to post it in the event page that we have going on, because that event page will last for the next the next 4 weeks. So feel free to post whatever you want to that is working for you, because we'd love to see it.
That's
Right,
what happened when they post a ding. When they
So-
post instead of sponsored.
Sponsor, right. Sponsor is a ding. So we all want some dings too.
Yes.
I know. All right, ladies, thank you so much. I apologize for keeping you so long. The other 3 will not be as long as this, but we had to get the foundation in place, right? We're building a big, strong castle, and it's covered in crystals, and we just built the foundation of it. Now you understand how the career plan works. All right, everybody, have a great night, and thank you so much. Take care.
Thank you.
Betsy, have a good night.
Bye.
Keep it safe.
Thanks.
Take care.
Thank you, Betsy. See
Oh,
you
you're
soon.
Hey, there's my
Anna,
Yay. Okay.
Thanks,
I love your
Betsy.
hotel room.
That was actually really helpful
Good.
because actually walking through, I mean, even though I'm a group leader, I still didn't know all this stuff
Exactly.
about the compensation plan. So that part was really helpful.
Good. It's very formative, to know how to do that and explain it to other people.
Yeah, definitely.
We're always learning from you. Thank you. See you soon.
Completely a
Sleep
pleasure.
good.
Thank you. I can't wait to
Thank
see you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Sleep tight.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
Bye.